They say every forest keeps a secret, but some secrets don't want to stay quiet. Ethan was 30 years old, an electrical technician who spent most of his days trapped between cables, wires, and the hum of fluorescent lights. City life had worn him down. The noise, the traffic, the same routine every morning. He wasn't unhappy, but he was numb. He missed silence. He missed the kind of quiet that comes only when there's nothing left to do but listen to the wind, the fire, and your own thoughts. So when he stumbled upon a blog post about a small cabin hidden deep inside Ravenwood Forest, it felt like an invitation. No phone signal, no neighbours, no traffic, just isolation. He called his two old friends, Mark, a paramedic, calm and logical, and Luke, a freelance photographer who could find beauty in anything, even decay. They hadn't seen each other in almost a year, and this seemed like the perfect way to reconnect, a few nights away from everything. The drive took 6 long hours. They watched the city fade into mist, the roads narrow into gravel, and the air grow colder with every mile. By the time they reached Ravenwood, the sun had already slipped behind the hills. The forest felt old, not in a romantic way, but in a heavy, watching way. When they finally found the cabin, it stood quietly between tall pines, its wood dark and weathered, its porch light flickering faintly like it hadn't been changed in years. Ethan stepped out of the car first. He took a deep breath. The air was clean, almost too clean. Then he noticed something strange. Fresh footprints leading up to the porch. The owner had said no one had rented the place in months. He decided not to mention it. Inside, the cabin was small but cozy in a rough sort of way. A single wooden table, 2 chairs, a narrow bed in the corner, and a fireplace that looked like it had seen better days. The air smelled faintly of smoke and metal. Luke laughed. Man, this place looks like it's one strong wind away from collapsing. Ethan grinned. That's what makes it perfect. They unpacked, started a small fire outside, and spent the evening talking about life, the jobs, the failed relationships, the kind of things you only talk about when you're far enough from the world to be honest. For the first time in a long time, Ethan felt his mind go quiet. It was close to midnight when Mark noticed something odd. Hey, did one of you leave a light on inside? They turned toward the cabin. Through the dusty window, a faint orange glow flickered from inside, soft and rhythmic, like a TV screen in a dark room. Ethan frowned. I unplugged everything. Still, curiosity won. They went inside together. The glow came from behind a half-open door near the kitchen. It led to a narrow set of stairs, a basement. The smell hit them first. Old oil, dust, something electrical. At the bottom, an old diesel generator hummed softly. It shouldn't have been running. There was no fuel smell, no vibration in the floor. Beside it sat a small metal shelf stacked with VHS tapes, each labelled with a date. Most of them were from years ago. But one caught Luke's attention. It had a date. Next week. They looked at each other. Luke laughed nervously. Okay, that's creepy. They found an old VCR and TV under a tarp and decided to play it, half expecting some forgotten home movie. At first, just static. Then, the image sharpened. The cabin appeared on screen. Same walls, same furniture. And then 3 men walked in. They looked tired, covered in dust, carrying the same bags. It took a few seconds before the silence broke. Mark whispered, "That's us." On the screen, their voices were faint but unmistakable. The recording showed them laughing, setting up, grilling outside, then walking toward the basement, toward the very camera filming them. The tape ended in static. Mark wanted to leave immediately. Luke was pale but silent. Ethan tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was staged. Maybe the owner was messing with them. But when he went back downstairs to turn off the generator, he noticed something he hadn't before. A small security monitor had turned on beside the shelf. Its screen showed the cabin's living room, live feed. On the screen, he could see Mark and Luke packing, and then, in the corner of the frame, a fourth figure moved past them. Tall, still, a hood pulled low. Ethan froze as he saw the hooded figure on the monitor, moving silently behind Mark and Luke. He shouted their names and sprinted upstairs, heart hammering, only to find the living room empty. The fireplace was cold, their bags abandoned, and the front door hung half open, swaying gently in the wind. Panic surged through him. He ran outside, calling for his friends, but the forest swallowed his voice. Shadows shifted between the trees, but nothing emerged. After what felt like hours, exhausted and terrified, Ethan stumbled back to the road and finally managed to flag down a passing car. By dawn, he was in town reporting the disappearance. Authorities rushed to the woods, combing through every path and creek, until they found the truck abandoned in mud near a narrow dirt path. Following the tracks, they reached the cabin. Inside, everything was as Ethan had left it. The fireplace cold, sleeping bags spread, bags untouched, and the generator humming quietly in the corner. The camcorder was still recording, its red light blinking steadily. Officers played the footage, only to see the three friends moving about the cabin, unaware of the figure standing behind them, until the image cut abruptly to static. Weeks of searching revealed no footprints beyond those of the three friends, no signs of struggle, nothing to indicate where they had gone. Finally, when an officer ran the cabin's property records, the last chilling detail came to light. It had last been listed online under the name Ethan Clark, a man who vanished from these same woods in 2008 during a camping trip with two friends. The past had quietly been waiting, and now it had claimed three more,